Hello, my name is Ian from Terrytown, and welcome to your Cruise Light 171 RBXL. Just gonna be starting right up front. Well, first things first, I do apologize. Most of this is frozen, but I'm just gonna continue anyway. Right here, you have a light just in case you do need to hook up at night, and then right here is going to be your power tongue jack control, so up and down. And then just in case it does ever electrically go out, you can go ahead. Just peel this little tab up here, and then just inside is going to be an option for a 3/4 inch socket or a 3/4 inch bit, and you can go ahead and drill that up or down just in case. Others come to your propane tank, so you just open whichever one you do want to use. Got your battery, and then your battery disconnect back there. Your battery disconnect, when you pull it out, it's not froze. Let me get this out. There we go. So right here, you can see that little silver bit that just goes right in that little opening there. Just move it in, turn it to on, and then you can of course turn it to off as well. But that just disconnects and connects the battery to the inside of the camper. Moving forward, here's your pass-through storage. And here's your furnace exhaust. So when your furnace is on, all the extra heat is going to be kicking out of here. So forewarning, dogs, any sort of pet, children, anything like that, try to keep them away from this when that is on. Otherwise, city water connection, you are going to want to plug into this when you get to a campground. That's just going to be your main water supply source. Let's say you're not camping at a campground, you need to fill this big tank up with fresh water, because that will be basically your water source for however long you are rustic camping for. So for example, if you're going to a national park or something like that, you're going to want to fill up on the outside, go into the national park, and then flip on your water pump, and your water pump is going to draw from this tank and push it into your lines. Moving on, this is going to be your camp power or shore power right here. And then right down here, you're going to have your low point drain, so that's your hot and cold lines. That's the two lowest points in your camper. And then of course you're going to have your sewer connection here. So you're gonna have your black tank and your gray tank. Your black tank is going to be toilet, anything like that, all the solids. And then the gray tank is going to be shower, sink, stuff like that. So moving on, with this, you are going to need to open that black tank. That is then going to flush. And then also vice versa, gray tank, open that up, that is going to flush. So you're only going to want to do one at a time, so I recommend doing the black tank first, just because that is the dirtiest water. So then when you do go to do the gray tank, just kind of acts like a little flush when you do go to put your hands back on your sewer hose. Cable satellite input here. You do have a backup camera prep and a ladder prep there. So this is a black tank flush. So the name is pretty self-explanatory, but it's a black tank flush. So what you're gonna wanna do is when you open your black tank, like I mentioned before, since it's your toilet, and I mentioned that solids come out of that, when that's done draining, put a pressurized hose into this black tank here, and then this flush is going to activate a small sprinkler inside your black tank to help flush all those solids that may have gotten stuck out. So black tank flush, and pull out your hose, close the black tank, and then go ahead and do your gray tank last. All the rest in here, you just have all of the storage. Then you're gonna have your water heater down here. So I can get it open. There we go. All right. So right here, this is going to be your anode rod. This anode rod is going to protect your tank from all the hard water, so all the hard water will eat at this and not your tank. It's going to be a 1 1/16 socket. You just go ahead, put it inside your water heater, and then tighten that down as tight as you can get it. And then going with that, what you're gonna wanna do is go to the inside of your camper and turn on the hot side of the faucet, and then make sure there's a steady flow of water coming out, because it's gonna sputter for a while, which is just all the air getting pushed out of here. So once again, tighten that down, go to the inside of your camper, turn on the hot side of your faucet, let it sputter. Once you have a steady flow of water, then you can turn this on and use it, do what you need to do. When it comes time to empty it, just pull the pressure release valve here, and then once that is done hissing, because the pressure is releasing, then you go ahead, take your socket, pull that back out, and then all the water is then going to drain right out of that hole there. And then, of course, same thing going back in, slide up the holes, get it through, pull and twist. For some reason, if you do decide to put a small TV out here for a game or something like that, we're going to have 110 outlets right there, and then you are also going to have a little satellite input or cable input right there. And then coming to the other side of your pass-through storage, you're going to have all of your cranks needed for manual overrides, and also a crank for your front power tongue jack there. Right here, 25-foot drinking hose, 110 adapter just in case you do need to plug this into your house to start cooling your fridges or something like that before you leave. And then right here is going to be your sewer hose. So like I mentioned before, this is going to be what's draining your black and gray tank. I do recommend getting a quote-unquote indestructible one or an upgraded one, because this will last you a little while, but it'll eventually crack and leak, and of course your black tank is going to be the last thing you want leaking. Otherwise, moving inside, you're going to have your solar charge controller here, so you can switch between the amps and the volts there, and then battery type if you decide to put more than one or switch it up. Moving down are going to be all of your readers, so battery reader, fresh tank reader, black tank reader, gray tank reader, just tells you how full they're getting. Water pump, so like I mentioned before with your fresh tank, flick that on and then it's going to draw water from your fresh tank and push it through your lines. Water heater, so there's just a switch that you need to flick on. It's just going to be electric, so that is your water heater. Just make sure that the anode rod is in nice and tight and you have a steady flow of water coming out the hot side of your faucet, and then just go ahead and flick that on. Otherwise you have lights, whether it's awning lights, and then these are just going to be outdoor lights. Otherwise right here is going to be your awning out and in switch. I'm not going to reel it out right now because it is completely frozen. Well, not completely frozen, but it is froze. But all you gotta do is pay attention to how far the awning is starting to extend. You'll start to see the little excess flap or the end of the awning kind of flap down. Then you'll be able to see the black bar it's sitting on behind it. Once you see those two, then go ahead and let go. Otherwise, for your lights, tap here, and then, let me see here. For some that don't turn on, it's because they're pressed. Otherwise, you just tap and hold the dim. There we go. And then once again, tap and hold to brighten back up. Otherwise, got your front lights here. For your bed, you just want to pull out this jackknife like this. Of course, move these over to the side. And then you just pop this open on both sides and then let your bed drop. And when it comes time to bring it back up, you just pull this little tab there and then push it back up and just lock it back into place like that. If it'll stop being difficult and decide to go on, that would be great. And once you got both of those in, just go ahead and push that up. Since I'm doing it with one hand, I'm just putting pressure on it with my thigh, grabbing the back, and then go ahead and flipping it up just like that. Otherwise, just go ahead and put those back into place however you want them. Moving on, you're going to... What's up?
I'd like a quart for that unit.
I don't know where it would be.
Yeah. You use it for the house.
I'm just using this one.
Okay.
So, yep. And then moving to your keys here, you're going to have purple doors, purple for your main doors, and then these other ones for your baggage doors. And then of course you have your microwave, fan, and light for down here. And And then for your oven and stove, you just want to press in, turn to the pilot symbol so the gas releases, and you spark to ignite. Otherwise, for your oven, same thing. There's gonna be a small metal piece in the far back of your oven, right back there. You're gonna want to pay attention to that. Press in, turn to the pilot symbol, so that little flame symbol, and then spark, spark, spark. Until you see a small flame appear in the back, then go ahead and adjust to your temperature needed. Otherwise, I forgot to turn on the lights. You always want to spark to the right, because if you spark to the left, it will snap off. And then for your temperature or your thermostat, it's going to go through all of your settings. So fan settings, cool settings, if you can read that, and then heat. I went one too far. I went one too far again. But there's a heat button there, and then you just want to go up and down with the arrows there. And then for your fridge, right back there on the top right is going to be where you adjust your temperature. Right down here is going to be for your breakers and fuses. All your breakers are going to be labeled, and then for your fuses, I do recommend bringing some extras just in case. It's just a personal recommendation though. You can pick those up at any auto parts store. And then the main things for your bathroom, just mainly for your toilet, it's just a foot flush, so you just press down with your foot and it'll flush. And then you're going to need two main things to make sure this goes smooth. You're just going to need toilet solution and RV grade toilet paper. The toilet paper is going to help kind of break down easier, make sure everything flows. And then the toilet solution is going to help break down solids and smells. So once again, everything breaks down and flows nice and easy. And then last thing with your AC, what most people do is open this up, let it completely dump out just to get some air flowing when they first get to a campground, because it's going to be warm in here, just to get stuff flowing. And then when it starts to cool down, they'll close it, because then it'll start to duct and come out the other white circles on the ceiling. Otherwise, that has been your orientation. If you do have any questions, please email me back. Other than that, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy.